Picture the world's oceans, bustling with container ships carrying everything we use daily. For decades, global trade flowed freely, making nations richer. But now, the US and China, two economic giants, are locked in a rivalry that's reshaping the world. This isn't just about money, it's a clash of systems. America's free markets versus China's state-led model. What started as a trade dispute has become a battle for influence, technology, and the future global order. The era of easy globalization is ending, replaced by fierce competition. This conflict affects us all, from the price of groceries to the jobs in our towns. Understanding the US-China trade war is essential. It's the defining story of our time. The calm seas of global trade have turned stormy, and we're all caught in the waves. The stakes, the rules that will shape the 21st century. This isn't just a distant political issue. It's a global turning point. The world is watching, anxious and uncertain. The outcome will define our future. To see how we got here, rewind to 2001. China joins the World Trade Organization. The US hoped China would open up, play fair, and maybe even reform politically. Trade boomed, American companies flocked to China, and consumers enjoyed cheap goods. But the US trade deficit soared, and millions of manufacturing jobs vanished. Frustration grew as China was accused of stealing technology and subsidizing its own firms. Hopes that China would become more like the West faded. By 2018, both US political parties agreed. China had taken advantage of the system. The Trump administration declared engagement a failure and turned to confrontation. The belief only economic pressure would force change. Years of tension boiled over into a full-blown trade war. The era of Chimerica was over. The world braced for conflict. The stage was set for a new kind of rivalry. The main weapon? Tariffs. Taxes on imports to make foreign goods pricier. In 2018, the US slapped tariffs on hundreds of billions in Chinese goods, demanding fairer trade. China hit back, targeting American products like soybeans and cars. A tit-for-tat cycle began, escalating into a trade war fought with taxes, not tanks. Both sides believed they could outlast the other. The US thought China needed its market. China bet its system could absorb the pain. Global supply chains trembled as the world's two largest economies clashed. The conflict wasn't just about trade, it was about power. Every new tariff sent shockwaves through businesses and consumers worldwide. Negotiations stalled, and uncertainty reigned. The trade war became a high-stakes game of economic chicken. The world watched, hoping for a truce. But the standoff only deepened. The trade war's impact hit home, hard. US manufacturers faced soaring costs for Chinese parts, forcing tough choices: absorb losses or raise prices. American farmers lost their biggest customer overnight as China retaliated, leaving crops unsold and livelihoods at risk. Consumers paid more for everyday goods, feeling the pinch at the checkout. In China, factories lost orders, workers lost jobs, and entire regions felt the strain. The world's supply chains began to shift, with companies moving production to places like Vietnam and Mexico. This decoupling threatened China's role as the world's factory. The trade war wasn't just a temporary disruption, it was reshaping global production. Winners and losers emerged across Asia and beyond. The economic pain was real and the uncertainty profound. The old model of deep integration was unraveling. The world economy was being redrawn. The conflict soon shifted from trade to technology. China's Made in China 2025 inches plan aimed to dominate high-tech industries. The US saw this as a threat to its technological leadership. The battle over Huawei symbolized the new tech war. Washington banned its products, citing security risks, and pressured allies to do the same. The US blacklisted dozens of Chinese tech firms and scrutinized apps like TikTok. This was no longer just about economics. It was about who controls the digital future. Data, innovation, and global influence were at stake. The Biden administration kept tariffs and tightened tech restrictions, focusing on alliances to counter China. The core issue, which nation and which system, will set the rules for the 21st century. The US-China rivalry now shapes global politics, technology, and the international order. The outcome will affect everyone, everywhere. The world stands at a crossroads. The contest for the future has only just begun.